So one of the really powerful things when you're going to go do a display like this is to keep a consistency of your visuals throughout. Welcome everyone to the Sellout Show, where we are always sold out. I am Diana Guerin, and I am, you're cracking me up. I am the co-founder of Trade Show Makeover, where we help companies stop leaving money on the trade show floor.
Hey, Diana. Hey, everyone. I'm Sean Carroll Sandy. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer of the Selling Agency, where we coach humans how to sell to other humans. Because selling like a grumpy Girl Scout means you're going to be left with a lot of cookies.
I love that look. It's so perfect. And you know what's funny is they think they invented that look.
Oh my God, I know. Yeah, my daughter thinks she invented things. Like, girl, please. Please.
All right, so I love that you brought up Girl Scouts. I've got my Girl Scout cookies right here. I've got my Samoas, which I have had, and I've never tried the Savannah Smiles, but you say that they're really good with tea, so I've got to open those up pretty soon.
Yes, I love those. Very good. Yeah, so, you know, once a year, Girl Scouts sell Girl Scout cookies. I'm a Girl Scout troop leader and a mom and the cookie mom and blah, 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 and have been for years. And so I'm always marvel at all the different sales lessons there are that go along with cookies. And so we've talked about it once before, but I've got a couple of new insights I thought would be worthwhile sharing today. What do you think?
Well, I think it's fantastic. I mean, I do say, like, when they say, you know, the Girl Scout cookie program, 5 skills, goal setting, decision making, money management, people skills, business ethics. I'm like, running a business. I mean, forget business ethics. This is like the whole deal, right? Like learning how to market and sell and operations. And so anyway, yeah, I'd love to hear the sales from the Girl Scout cookie booth.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I did a video last year that has been shared quite a bit about, it's not really about the cookies. Like, just buy the cookies, or at the very least, just talk to a Girl Scout, especially if you see Girl Scout booths. Or my girls still go, like, I mean, they go door to door, they can sell online, they sell in booths. And just like, excuse me, just like a real sales process, you have multiple channels.
Yeah.
And it's super important, the lessons that they learn about confidence and about positioning and about how to approach people, you know, looking people in the eye and asking for business and having a conversation. Do you know what one of the most stressful things is in all of this for not just a Girl Scout, but adults as well?
What?
Making change on the spot.
Wow. Wow.
It is. I mean, like, you're doing math. I got 7 boxes and I'm giving you $50, and they're like, okay, you know, and it's, I mean, that's a lot of pressure. And, you know, my kids, they know exactly how the inventory breaks down and how much margins they get. So they set a goal based on what they want to do with the money. And then they've got this is how much profit they need. So this is how many boxes they have to sell. So it really is like running a business. So can't say enough about the program. And, you know, for Girl Scout mamas, make sure your girls are selling the cookies and not you, because there are lessons to learn.
There are, and they're not your lessons. They're your girls' lessons.
Not your lessons. Yeah. So I also want to so a big part of cookie sales is the booth. And since we've got the Trade Show Makeover expert, our girls do booths every year, and they design them, they execute, they build it. And that's another thing you can see too. You can tell when the mamas got on Pinterest and design that booth versus the girls doing it, which is fine.
Yeah, right. Well, so before we do that though, let's talk. I think one of the things that's really wonderful about what you do to train your girls is the sales questions that you ask people, right? And I think that's going to be an important thing in a booth too. But the things that you've taught me about what you've taught the girls of how to approach somebody. So give them, what is it that you say to somebody, and let's kind of unpack why it's awesome.
Well, I think one of the things that's really cool about selling this particular product is there is a tremendous power of this brand. So you kind of have to understand how do people recognize your brand? What is their previous experience with your brand? That's the biggest part, I think, to selling it. And so for Girl Scout cookies, it's about Americana. It's about People tap into their own youth, or also what happens is, especially people that next generation, I cannot tell you how many people would walk by and participate in our booth sales because the mom said, I was my daughter's cookie troop leader, or we sold cookies, or a dad would say, oh, you know what, I just remember having a garage full of Girl Scout cookies. And so there's so much Americana and nostalgia around this brand that once I recognized this many years ago, we started tapping that by asking people, not, do you want to buy cookies, but one specific question before that. And it's to engage people in that nostalgia. And it's, hey, tell me, what is your favorite Girl Scout cookie? So you get people to tap into that really good memory and, well, let me think about what it is. What do I like the taste of? And then they follow it up with and say, oh, you know what, that's my mom's favorite, or that's my favorite. Would you like to support our troop and buy some Girl Scout cookies? And you can measure conversion rates. You get many more yeses and many more conversions to purchase when you ask that question before you ask, do you want to buy some cookies?
Well, that's right? And first of all, there's a couple things that are really powerful about this. And this is true for a trade show booth. I think it's true for a cold call, even a warm call. If you're having a sales call, is you're opening it up, Sean, with a question that, first of all, requires them to think. It's kind of like Jackie Leahy bumping them on the nose. And then, but it's an open-ended question.
Mm-hmm. Yep, getting them engaged. Yes. And
it's not like, do you want cookies? Well, yes or no, do I want cookies? And no is always the safer answer for a buyer, because it's a lower risk answer.
Exactly. Well, and what we really had to work on, especially kids they're just so excited. Like, they're so excited to be there. And so what they would do, and again, I'm going back to like cookie booth sales, and this can be translated to how salespeople are on the phone and how they are when, cold call or even in a first meeting. When the people, like, say, for instance, we're at Lowe's. We're at Lowe's a couple weekends. And so, especially at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. in the morning, people would walk out of Lowe's, they'd yell, you want any Girl Scout cookies? And the people are just like startled, like, oh my God. And so we had to teach them that you need to get their attention first. Like, good morning. And then wait for them to acknowledge and then say, what's your favorite Girl Scout cookie? And then warm them up and stuff, instead of just yelling at them, you want Girl Scout cookies? And then they're just startled because you don't have their attention. And then they're like, they have to process what you just asked after they're startled. So I think that I've seen people scare buyers away that way. Not just cookie buyers or would-be cookie buyers, but when people are they get to that, do you have any time where we can partner and I can solve all your problems? Like, I've seen cold emails where people say, you have 15 minutes where we could possibly chat about being your full service provider solution, blah, blah, blah. And you're asking someone like to go all the way to the marriage chapel on the first contact. And it's just like, whoa, pique their interest first, yo.
Well, and it's what we talk about too with cold calling is make your prospects successful. Mm-hmm. And if you startle them, they're not they've already had an experience of not being successful. Now they're going to probably power through because it's kids, but yeah, that good morning, how are you? Actually, I think that in that particular case where you're face to face with somebody who's just walking out of Lowe's, that you would ask, how are you? How are you today? How are you feeling today? I mean, you don't do that on an executive call, like a cold call. You're like, you don't care how they're doing. They don't care how they're doing. Everybody doesn't care. But yeah, that's right. Make them successful. What else? What other kind of sales training has come from your Girl Scouts?
Well, I think there's just a couple really cool things that they learned. We'll get into the booth second and why that's really important about what people see, where you want to funnel your proceeds and stuff. But so my goal is to not be eating cookies in July because we have leftover inventory. So I want to sell out, and that's
I'm cheersing to that.
Yeah, cheers to selling out. Woo!
Yeah. We're always sold out.
So as, at the last booth, as the stock and the inventory diminished, people would come up and they'd say, oh, do you have any Samoas? I said, no, sorry, we're all out. And so as we lost a cookie flavor, I said, well, why don't you ask them what's their next favorite flavor? Because we probably have those. Or, does your husband, wife, spouse, or kids, do they have a favorite flavor that's not the one that we don't have? So what I really loved about this too is that they would try things, that's not necessarily, they came up with their own stuff and they tried their own things, and that's great. But whenever I would make a suggestion, they would try them and they would see the results, and then they would, make it their own. So when we were to ask someone, well, I don't have this one, but what else can we do for you? And so that's sort of like, if you don't have a feature or a function that maybe your customer is looking for, or maybe they don't particularly even want, they just want to know what your full suite of capabilities is to focus on what you do have and how that is important to them.
Exactly. Okay, so then there's the pivot. They're not going to buy a box, but what does Sophia say?
We would love a donation. Donations are calories free. People say, oh, I'm on a diet, or oh my gosh, I've eaten too many. They say, I know, they're so good. It would validate that, that they want to eat them, but they're being great and not. But you know what? Donations help us, and they're calorie free. Or you can donate a box to, we're taking these to a particular rehabilitation center, or you could send them to troops overseas. Just letting you.
See, you're giving your customer all sorts of options where they can say yes.
Exactly.
And then I love the upsell. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Do you want your change back upsell?
Yeah.
So this was so funny. So the girls they realize that, a box of cookies nets them, maybe 51 to 58 cents of actual proceeds, but they keep 100% of the donation. So someone gives you $1, that's like selling 2 cookie boxes that you have to sell. So we had talked about asking people if they would like their change back, or some people would donate that and they figured it out. So like one person bought one box of cookies, get $4, they gave them a 20, and the girls are saying, would you like your change back? They're like, yeah, I want my $16 change back. So we had to be like, hold on. Let's, it's a nuance, right? And so teaching young salespeople nuance and how to read the customers and stuff like that, instead of appearing greedy, like, I want $16 of your change, you just bought a box of cookies. It was, well, here's $16. Would you care to make a small donation? And, so they just changed the way they did that. And again, their donation rate went up, whereas most people gave them $1 or $2 of their change. So
of course, yeah.
A small increment versus feeling like they're being taken advantage of really changed people's vibe, and they were more willing to donate.
And then you learn the cocktail waitress trick where you give them their change in mostly ones.
Yes.
If you've got $16 change, you give them like 2 5s and 6 1s.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just think you're hitting on such really important skills for people to be learning. The first one is really getting over in somebody else's world about why it would be important for them. Look, I will buy a box of Girl Scout cookies and it will come home and I'm not going to eat one of them. I don't eat cookies. It's not my thing, but I'm going to buy a box of Girl Scout cookies. I'm not going to buy Oreos because that's not what I'm buying.
Right.
I'm not buying cookies. I'm buying something else. I'm buying a story. I'm buying my total failure as a brownie to ever sell anything, and I think that's another thing that's really important for moms to understand. And also, well, maybe not sales managers, but moms to understand is if your kids are failing at it, it doesn't mean they're going to fail at stuff all their lives. Like I failed miserably at lemonade stands and Girl Scout cookies because I was learning. I was just practicing. This is just practice. This isn't like the end game. Girl Scout cookies is not the end game.
No. And even if like these are, even if these girls don't take a formal sales role, these are such great life skills. I mean, all of these are life skills, whether you're in sales or not, that being able to read people and, make a suggestion and be able to tap into why they're there and what's in it for them. All those are such great life skills. And, at the end there, we talk about selling out. So they had like one case of Thin Mints left. And you're like, oh my God. And every, you know, a couple of people passed by, they're like, oh no, I don't want Thin Mints. And I said, why don't you share with people your goal? Like, instead of saying, sorry, we don't have any other, this is all we have left. I said, these are our last 12 cookies, and then we'll hit our goal. We'll have sold out. Oh my God, people bought 4 boxes and 3 boxes, and it changed the way people were so happy to help them get to their goal versus saying, well, this is all we have left. It was, this is all we have left. Now we can go home and get out of the cold.
Now this will not work for you as a salesperson. If I just need to meet my quota this quarter, that's not going to do it.
No, it will not do it.
I'm going to win the President's Award to go to Hawaii. No, you've got to find a different way for somebody to be over on your side with you.
Exactly. Works for Girl Scouts, not so much everybody else.
No, you got to know what you're selling. You got to know why people are buying. You've got to know why people are buying.
Yeah. Well, I want to share with you. So you are the trade show booth expert in all things design about the booth, but also what you do in the booth. So I want to share with you, every year I ask the girls to design the booth. And again, this is very important. These are life skills these kids need to figure out how to do. What materials and resources do we need? How we put it up? I turned it into a STEM project. So last year they cut PVC pipe and designed a booth outline so that the actual structure of it. These girls love saws and power tools. Like it's just, they're
who doesn't love a power tool?
I know. So it's something they could use over and over again. And so this year they designed a booth and had to figure out how to make it so it can go up and then come back down and go up and come back down and not be like messed up. So this is kid designed. I just want to make sure.
All right, cool. And before we go into that, I mean, I think the booth is so important, and I think what you do at the booth is so important. But the biggest thing that we teach our clients, and it's sort of an aha moment, is what happens at the booth. Your results are so far designed ahead of even getting to the booth, and it's not only about the booth design or what you do in the booth, but it's such a holistic approach to the create the winning strategy, dominate at the booth, and then generate the revenue. So I think that's really fantastic. So let's talk about this. First of all, I want to hop in really quickly when you're talking about your multi-channel approach, because that's going to feed into exactly what we're talking about here. What kinds of activities were they doing that were not at the booth before they went?
Well, they sold, door to door, neighborhoods, friends, all that kind of stuff. And then when we would do the booth, we would share it with, now you can only share in social with Girl Scouts and private channels. So you can share on Facebook, like you can't share on Twitter because that's public, but we would share on Facebook with our friends and family where we would be. So for instance, we'd say, hey, come see us here, and post a picture, of the girls at the booth ahead of time or whatever, so that people, our friends and family, if they wanted to catch us, they knew where we would be. So that's part of our plan ahead strategy, right?
Well, it's perfect. So what's really great about the channels that you're talking about is they're visual, right? Yeah. So one of the really powerful things when you're going to go do a display like this is to keep a consistency of your visuals throughout. So maybe what you do is you have a picture of the Girl Scouts building the booth on Facebook. Yeah. So then you get a consistency of, oh, I saw these girls, I saw this booth coming together, and then now here is the visual representation of it, IRL, right? In real life.
So you build anticipation, right? That's what you're saying. So, hey, come see us. We're going to be here. Are you going? Oh, I like that. Okay.
Well, and the consistency. So you and I talked about this in our keynote, where the brain processes images 60,000 times faster than words. Mm-hmm. So they've had an experience already of your brand, and now it's another experience, but the visuals are consistent.
Yeah, and that's why they wear their uniforms too. I mean, it was freezing all the time we were there, but they've all got their uniforms on, and you see the cookie boxes, and there's the iconic Girl Scout green. So that's some good visual consistency, I feel like.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing that's a perfect segue. So everybody is wearing a uniform. They're wearing something that is a representation of the brand, right? This is something that people in trade shows do all wrong all the time. Is you got to know people want to know who to go talk to. Mm-hmm. And it's very clear to me who I'm going to be talking to here, right? They've got the uniform on. So that's really fantastic. The other thing that really, really works about this is that they don't have their phones in front of their face.
Oh Lord, yes. I would kill them. Like that is just not anything allowed. You cannot sit down and you cannot have your phones near you. That's not at any meeting, not at no, no.
It seems obvious.
Doesn't it? That you should, well, yeah, doesn't it? And like they're constantly scanning their environment. People coming out the door, people coming at them. They're constantly scanning their environment.
Right. So that's, those are some things that are really important that, a lot of people do at trade shows is they just sit and, they sit but let's talk about some things that we could sort of level up the game here. I hate that phrase, level up, but it's kind of perfect.
Like all this, bless their hearts. It's definitely, I think people find it endearing, I believe, that the kids actually made this, which is really obvious with all the misspellings and stuff.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. But the things that would make a difference for this particular situation are when you've got your display up high, which is the first thing that people are going to see. You want it to be really clear what the offer is, right? So this is really cool, the Dare to Dream, Dare to Do It. And you might want to put that somewhere that's kind of the secondary visual, but you want to be like, get your Girl Scout cookies here. You want the thing to announce so that people within 2 seconds make a decision about whether they're going to engage with you or not. So that visual real estate that you've got, this is about cookie time, dreams. But what they and the problem is the Girl Scouts are constantly immersed in, we're Girl Scouts. Of course we're Girl Scouts, but your buyer needs to see right away, oh, this is Girl Scouts, because that'll shout to them, this is a safe opportunity to engage, this is nostalgic, this is a good thing to engage with. So that would be one thing that I would kind of shift about this, is make that about, Girl Scout cookie time, or it's Girl Scout time, or whatever, right? So that I know that I'm engaging with Girl Scouts right away.
Yeah, okay, I like that, yeah.
The second thing, and this is another really common thing at booths all the time, is the girls have a barrier between them and their buyer.
Mm-hmm.
So what if instead of having the table in the front, they put it in the back and had them out in front where they can be inviting people in, and they can create a Girl Scout cookie discovery zone.
Oh, discovery zone. I like that.
Like, we want to know what's your favorite cookie, and you can even have like little recipes, or you could have like, what's your favorite one to put on ice cream, or so you have this discovery zone that people can come in and they can explore. Because right now what's happening is there's a barrier between you and your buyers, so a conversation has to go fast, and you have to like make a decision fast, and then you have to do this is a very transactional setting, right?
Yeah.
What you've got here. So anyway, that's the second thing I would do. And then the third thing that you could consider is, well, the discovery zone is really perfect. But then the third thing you can consider is like, what was your dream when I was a kid? That whole, like, carry that consistently. Okay, so now that's what's happening at the booth. But like I said, everything happens before you go. It's like Sun Tzu, right? The victorious warrior wins the battle before they go. So because they're on social media, a couple things that they can be doing is they can be setting appointments before they come to the booth, right? So what they do is they gather all, their mom pals and their babysitters and their gal pals, and they time it up and say, what time can you come by the booth? So that you start to create activity. Mm-hmm. Did you already do that?
No. But yeah, so it's really nice of some of the organizations to let the girls do, you can usually find them outside of grocery stores or Walmart. I don't prefer those. We go to Lowe's and a restaurant here in town, because people aren't going there to buy groceries. But especially with the restaurant, we just love them so much that the wait staff always comes out and buys cookies, and the bartenders and stuff. And so, but that's a great partnership. So, think about going someplace who you could partner with to like strengthen the benefit or the bond, right? When you're at a trade show.
Well, absolutely. And the thing is always having people coming and always having people being interested. So, when can you stop by and say hi? We want to see you there. The other thing that's exactly perfect too, that partnership that you're talking about, because then your partners can get involved in the game of make sure that you invite people between 1 and 2. We want to have like a huge rush at the booth, right? Another thing to think about when you're doing that booth is you want to take pictures from all angles. So get your booth set up, and then you want to be able to tell what the booth is about from every different angle, but you can only really tell that if you go away and you take a picture of it.
Right.
And then you can look at it and say, now, how do we look to our buyer? We know what we look like to ourselves, but what do we look like to our buyer? And then the other one that I think would be super, super, super freaky fun, especially in a neighborhood, is take a picture with people that are taking, let's do a selfie together as you buy cookies from me. And then you tag them on Facebook, like, what's your, right? And you put it out onto social media. So you give their own community a little boost about, hey, look how awesome I am buying Girl Scout cookies. So you've acknowledged them with that social media presence. So those are some things that might kind of be a lot of fun and generate a lot more activity and like, what's going on over there? Those are my suggestions just off the top.
I love that. And it's just, again, life lessons, Girl Scout cookies, booth sales, selling in general. This is such a, it's a big part of where the Girl Scout funds to do things. And so, selling is important if you want to accomplish something, if you want to do something. This is, in this region, it's been a really particularly horrible year for booth sales because it has rained and poured down rain every weekend. And it's hard to be standing up. We'll sell in the cold. We've gone door to door in the cold. We'll sell in the cold, but it's really hard to stand there when the rain is blowing at you and soaking cardboard boxes. So the booth sales have struggled, but that's why it's important that we pre-sold and we have multiple customer sources so that we can still reach our goals, right? Not just depending on the one thing, so that we met our goal, we sold out. And I know there's troops just stacked with boxes at miles high in their garage because they had to cancel their booths. Well, what do you do now? Oops. So super important to have those multiple channels and have pipeline full of opportunities to pre-sell and keep it going. That just occurred to me. That was a really important lesson. It's been a struggle. It's just rained and rained and rained sideways so hard over every weekend conceivable. They've actually extended the season here because they've had so much rain.
Yeah, well, fortunately, most of the trade shows that I consult on are either in Vegas at dry times or they're inside. So yeah, that's a whole other thing. But don't you find, Sean, that selling at the booth is presents completely different opportunities than selling them over the phone or selling them through an office or selling them door to door? Don't you just find that there's unbelievable opportunities that weren't available elsewhere?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you catch people that you didn't know who would buy cookies. You are able to, inspire people who maybe wouldn't have if you'd rang their doorbell. They might have just ignored you. You might have just ignored your call versus seeing you in person. That's very, very powerful to have someone in front of you asking versus, you've been able to ignore them so far. Yeah, it is. There's also something very powerful about being united. People see that you're part of a group and you're part of something bigger, and who's behind you. They see your teammates. They see the parents, huddling our coffee and shivering. I think that selling face to face and having those one-on-one conversations, is super important in meetings. But then when you can grab people at events or conferences where everyone's sort of tuned into what's happening there and in the mind share, and then you can have really effective conversations. It's awesome. And so many people do it poorly. So many people show up unprepared, and I'm so excited for what you and Alice are doing, and you're just killing it, knocking it out of the park. I love it.
Well, thank you so much. I think the really powerful thing too, when you create that discovery zone and you create that this is about the Girl Scouts, and you create the social media moment for your buyer, what starts to happen is they've become a part of the experience now too. So they now have a bit of, Girl Scout on them. They got to be a part of something that's important to the community. And it is, and frankly, Girl Scouts are a very important part of the fabric of our country, and we all kind of know that. Yeah. So awesome. Thank you for letting me play trade show booth guru.
I'm going to, these girls are totally going to watch this episode for the next go round. They absolutely are, because they are students of progress, and they want to know, they want to get better. They want to improve. And that's why I've just been impressed with how they progressed since they were little 8-year-olds in 3rd grade to now they're going into 8th grade, and they're really learning lessons that are applying to their schoolwork and their academics, sports, and that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, you too can be an agile learner at any stage in your life and take feedback and go put it into action. And
what?
Right?
No.
Yes.
No. All right. Well, we beat the Girl Scout cookie to death. So go get a Girl Scout cookie. Go wrangle a Girl Scout. Buy a Girl Scout cookie. It'll teach them goal setting, decision making, money management, people skills, business ethics, and bungee jumping from what I saw from the booth. So
swimming with sharks. Great scuba diving, the Great Barrier Reef. Yeah, these girls want to do all that. I can't wait. I'm not going to say no. Who am I standing in their way?
Well, they get to have these big dreams, and then they get to have a pathway to fulfill them, and then it's all up to them. I love what you're doing there, Sean. Oh, and shouts out to Derek Lusinski, who is better be watching this all the way to the end, because now he's going to steal these booth ideas. And then anybody else? It seemed like there needed to be another shout out to somebody. Girl Scout cookie. Oh, Andrea Waltz. This is a totally go for no kind of, Okay, so you bought the 5 boxes of cookies. We also take donations. Oh, do you want to give your change? I mean, do you want to donate to somebody who's in, the armed forces? So go for no, Andrea Waltz. That's what I wanted to say. Shouts out.
Awesome. Well, on that note, we'll wrap it up.
Oh yeah. Stop hoping.
And start selling. Bye, everyone.
Stop hoping that Diana will remember what she has to say.